Okay, so this is gonna be the Darce. Yep, same thing. It's all the same setup. It really just depends on which way they turn and what they do, right? So I open the door, he jumps, I grab the head, right? Hit my rollout spot. We get to here. This is where he turns into me. Once he turns in, I'm just gonna switch to here. This hand shoots through as he comes across. Gonna lock my Darce. Same thing to finish here. Instead of like squeezing, I'm gonna bring my elbows together. And a little tip for Darces is like, when your forearm is across their neck, I don't want to use the skinny side. We call it the cutting bone. It's good for a lot of things, but for choking, I want to use the fat side of my arm because I want to cover up as much of the carotid as I can. So when you get through, like with a typical Darce, when you shot this through, your cutting bone is in, right? So once you lock, just turn it so that now the flat side of my wrist is in. And now I'm taking up a lot more of the carotid artery on the side of the neck, which is just, that's all we're trying to do right now, right? Is cut off blood flow. So we're here, I open, he shoots, bang, we get here. Wow. He rolls in. As he rolls, I use that roll to shoot my other hand through. We get to here, and I lock. Roll, elbows together. It's a pretty strong finish. Yeah, without like, because as he rolls into it.
Now when they're rolling in, do you kind of like make them a little space, like you loosen up a little bit?
I want to be careful about loosening because I don't want his tricep to escape.
Okay.
So roll out position, just flat. So roll into me. If I make too much space, this elbow will come out.
Got it.
And then I got nothing, right? I'm screwed. So when he rolls, that's my, I want to make sure to keep that elbow across my body. And then I got to give him the space to roll. So mostly I'm worried about my chest connection to this tricep. And once this hand's through, I can hug him in tight. And even if he starts going ape shit now, I can usually kind of, and as soon as I lock, he's not getting out, right? Because I got a strong lock there. So, one more time. Half guard. He's got a good knee shield, I can't pass. All right, let's give him a little game. He sits up, bam, we're here. I drive, hit my rollout to here. Perfect. Now, if I'm squeezing here and I feel like he's strong and I'm not really getting a good finish, all I do is I pendulum my legs. I can put him to his back, come up, and now I can get my chest over and finish the Darce traditionally, which would just be here. I'm all tight. There's a ton of details you can use to finish the Darce. Most of them are really kind of preference. So the way I learned from the Rutolos was I'm rowing my elbow to the ceiling. It's a little more neck cranky, but that's kind of there. They'll even shorten this a little bit, like pull that elbow out a little bit so they can really put the torque on. The way I learned from Craig Jones is get to here and pinch his head to his chest. Especially if you have this leg scoop. You just pinch the head to the chest. I like that finish because it's like it's a coil and you're pulling him into the choke. So from here, he jumps, hit, roll. He starts to roll into me. I switch to the Darce, can't get my finish. Pendulum, swing, come on top, hunt for the leg, scoop, here. Now, everything's tight, I can take my time. Pinch his head down. And I'm not even squeezing there, I'm just pulling his head down.
I like how you caught his leg.
Yeah, that's one of those things. So think about your body positioning. If you end up kind of more of a north-south, it's gonna be tougher to finish because he's open, right? So just walk your hips. You're trying to walk your hips towards his hips and trap that leg. Once you trap the leg, that should be game. That really should be it because there's so many ways to finish, but like pinch the head, you can rock the baby, you can row the elbow. And once you start getting used to these finishes, start mixing them. Like you start doing multiple of these details all at the same time, it gets real tight, real fast. Open, connect, roll, shoot here. So like from here, I'm on the bottom. Maybe I do that Rotolo style finish. I just row my elbow to me. Okay, come back up. We pendulum, I get him over. Now, I trap. Now maybe I pinch his head and I row. That's different. Yeah. You pop your head off if you start getting a bunch of different Darce finishes going at the same time. And it's like, it's a super good choke. It's just a little tricky. If you have short arms, something you can think about is a short Darce. The difference is instead of going here, I'm gonna grab my forearm or my wrist, depending on how long my arms are. Islam Makhachev gets this finish in the UFC a lot, where he grabs his wrist and everything comes in tight, right? So, from just this other side, he rolls in, I've shot my Darce. Once I get to here, maybe I've got short arms, so instead of trying to shoot all the way up here, I just cover the forearm. Or the wrist. And the weight, I want to finish this is I'm drawing my weight over his head and off of him. And then just pinching my elbows. So yeah, if your arms are short, which some of you deal with that, cover the forearm, and the hand just turns. Cover the wrist, pinch your elbows. Try those finishes, and then if we have a little time, I'll show you a fun little counter to this system. 1, 2.